Have you ever thought about this bizarre situation? Emotions and thoughts are inherently ours, but why do we have so little control over them? I don't want to be anxious, but I can't help it. I don't want to be depressed, yet I am engulfed by grief and sorrow. Why do we so often find ourselves trapped in the emotional storm with no escape? We rarely intend to engage in heated conflicts or say something that hurt those we care about. Yet, too often we find ourselves caught up in those situations. Anger drives us to act out of character and harm our relationship. Why are we so powerless over our own emotions? Is there a way to break free from this cycle? This is the core question leads us to the heart of the upcoming Healing Course series. We will embark on the healing journey and take you through a unique perspective, re-examining the nature of reality and investigating how the brains influence our thoughts, behaviors, and emotions. Explore from the metaphysical plane to see beyond the boundaries and limitations of our usual perceptions. Also, explore the spirituality concepts like no self, dualism, illusions, mystical experience, and beyond. Last but not least, we will also learn varieties of healing techniques to alleviate emotional burdens, bringing us closer to our hearts and toward wholeness and oneness. The goal of healing is very simple and straightforward: to restore the healthy state of mind and body and discover our inner peace. Healing is an inward journey, not an outward one. It's not about fixing or saving the world. It's not about confronting others, but resolving the conflicts within ourselves and ending the eternal battles we were fighting against ourselves. It's about healing the wounds of our souls and body. The world won't be at peace until we find peace within ourselves. The exterior world is just a reflection of our internal state. The deeper we explore ourselves, the more you will realize that we are not necessarily who we think we are. Rather, many aspects of our identity are shaped by genetic predisposition, and this biological mechanism, our brain, our body, the hormone, the neurotransmitters in the brain, all sort of biochemical molecules that run in our bloodstreams, like dopamine or serotonin, have greatly influenced our mood. A low serotonin level could result in a depressed, low energy state. Suppose we take a closer look at our personality traits, perhaps the positive ones like optimism, creativity, or less desirable ones like impatient, quick temper, or stubbornness. Do those traits really define and represent who you are? Can you simply flip a switch and become more creative or confident? Can you break a bad habit or change a dietary preference with a snap of a finger? We often think this is me, this is my identity, this is what I believe, this is who I am. But we assume this merely because we were born into this body, inherited certain personality traits, and have been influenced by our environment from day one when we were first born and even while still a fetus in the womb. This sense of self is also greatly influenced by childhood experiences, upbringing, religious doctrines, beliefs, culture, and social norms. All these factors mold our perceptions and shape our inner reality, projecting an image of who we believe we are, creating an illusory identity that we call me or the self. But it is not necessarily the true you. So through self-exploration, we begin to recognize areas we can improve upon for personal growth and often positively affecting the lives around us. Our unfinished homework becomes a homework of others, a burden for others who may end up doing the homework with us, or worse, for us, especially those closest to us, spouse, children, parents, and colleagues. if one avoids doing the homework of healing, whether it is the feelings of insecurity, a quick temper, a heightened anxiety, or lack of empathy, then the entire family suffers along with us. Or to some extent, the entire society suffers. When parents avoid their inner work, their children not only suffer, but also frequently left to carry their parents' unfinished work. Consequently, generation after generation, humanity finds itself caught in the loop, trapped in the specific patterns, repeating the same mistakes over and over. Healing is about breaking free from this vicious cycle through self-inquiry and healing techniques. We begin peeling away layers of false perception and beliefs and discover our true selves. Let's have a brief overview of healing techniques. Perhaps we all wish to be more loving, patient, or confident. Yet at times it feels as if our mind have their own agenda, dictating our actions, leaving us feeling our effort are futile and emotionally drained. Thirst. Navigate through those challenges. We draw on the range of healing techniques such as eye movement for emotional relief, relaxation for mind-body connection, meditation for tapping into the unconscious mind, chi and energy work to restore the balance and flow of the body, and hypnosis to shift our perspectives and reprogramming the brain. Those practices are intended to make the healing process more efficient and more effective. In this introductory course, we will primarily focus on the eye movement to help clear away the emotional blockages. Additionally, we will explore some crucial concepts related to how our internal reality is constructed. The eye movement technique we use here is derived from EMDR, which stands for eye movement, desensitization, and reprocessing. EMDR is widely practiced in psychotherapy that help reduce the intense emotions tied to a painful and troublesome memories. It has been intensively used for relieving PTSD symptoms, where past traumatic experiences such as dog bites, a serious accident, natural disasters, war, or abuse could trigger overwhelming emotions. We will go into more details later in the course. In short, the technique is very simple. Moving your eyes while recalling troublesome memories or emotions, whether that's fear, anxiety, anger, or specific memory. Through eye movement process, the emotional intensity and reactivity will gradually be reduced. The visualization, the vividness of the memory begin to fade, much like the stain or dirt on the clothes being washed away. The details become harder to recall, and the once overwhelming emotions lose its significance, become more manageable, and even completely irrelevant. You might be amused and start to laugh at the silliness of the emotions or thoughts that once felt so consuming and agonizing. The process breaks the association between the troublesome emotions and the memory or the situation. So when you revisit a memory, it might feel like hearing someone else's story rather than reliving it. You can still recall the experience in details or sense it, but it no longer affects you as you once did. As emotions soften, your mind can process everything with greater objectivity and clarity without being hindered or overpowered by negative emotions. This brings a great sense of relief, as you're no longer hijacked by intense emotions, allowing you to move forward. Best of all, eye movement not only works for traumatic memories, but also works effectively with broad range of emotional challenges, including anxiety, compulsive behaviors, phobia, anger, depression, and more. If you haven't tried eye movement or EMDR before, you might be skeptical, as I was. When my mom first introduced it to me years ago, the idea of simply moving my eyes side to side While recalling uncomfortable emotions or memories could reduce agonizing feelings or anxiety or loneliness, that sounds incredulous and hard to believe. Yet, after experiencing it firsthand and helping many others, this techniques has become my go-to healing recommendation. While it is not a cure-all panacea, eye movement is simple, accessible, and relatively effective for addressing a broad range of emotional scenarios. It's cost-effective too, requiring only your focus, attention, and willingness, and some energy moving your fingers. We have worked with many individuals, and those who experience eye movement are often amazed by the result. As their emotional intensity dissipates, they are left in wonder, surprised by the profound realization, often exclaim, "Why was I so deeply entrenched in those emotions? Much of my suffering was unnecessary." And indeed, much of our suffering is unnecessary. It is not we choose to be angry or anxious, but our brain keeps us running in circles. Eye movement helps you break free from those never-ending loop. We will dive into more details about eye movement in different scenarios and case studies in a later section of this course. We suggest practice eye movement to yourself, but experienced guidance could be significantly improve its effectiveness. When led by an experienced personnel, the process can be more targeted, ensure the best outcomes by addressing individuals' need and offering additional support through each step. But please do note that while we utilize eye movement techniques in this course, we are not following the formal 8-step EMDR protocols. If you are interested in the formal EMDR procedures, I recommend you consult a certified EMDR therapist. This is especially important if you're actually dealing with overwhelming emotions or if you have a particular physical condition that you're concerned about. This wraps up the introduction to this course. Now we will move into the first section where we will take a closer look at the concept of the self and how the brain creates your reality, exploring what's truly make you who you are and shapes your reality. Those concepts will lay the groundwork for healing and self-discovery.